Hey VC, Matt here, back with another Vinyl Finds video, kind of sorts. Not a recent finds video for sure, does not classify as that. Most of these aren't record store finds, there are a couple that I picked up in stores, but mostly these are online pickups of Neo-Psych stuff. I did a video like this about a year ago, showing my newer psychedelic music collection, and I picked up a lot more in that year. I've got about 17 albums here to show. A lot of online pickups, a couple record store finds as well, so kind of mention those as we come across them, but otherwise we'll just kind of dive into this. And since there are so many, this may turn into a two-parter, but if I can kind of blaze through these while still kind of giving you a good description, we'll do it in one single take. So here we go. First up, Kurt Weill's band, The War on Drugs, Lost in the Dream. This came out in 2014, made a ton of year-end best-of lists, lots of top 10s. It's really, I don't know if it's 180 gram vinyl, but it's really heavy vinyl, and it's really, really thick packaging as well. I love the gatefold on this. But for whatever reason, I kind of slept on this. I checked out a few tracks and liked what I heard, but then never got around to listening to the rest of it until about 2 months ago when I heard it digitally. I was just kind of perusing YouTube one day and put it on in the background while I did some other stuff and immediately bought a copy. It was that good. And this is still not that expensive, like 20 and under. You can find it on Discogs and Amazon, places like that. So this is well worth seeking out. I feel like the VC would love this, and maybe you guys for the most part already do, and I just missed your videos or whatever. But this is like if Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, and Bob Dylan came together and made a Laurel Canyon psychedelic influenced album. This is so good. I guess you would call it alt country almost, but definitely with psychedelic influences. Great road trip music, great summer music. The opening track, Under the Pressure, it's like 9 minutes long. Probably my favorite cut on the track. The title track, though, Lost in the Dream, is really good as well. This is definitely worth checking out. Definitely. Great stuff there. Next up, I do know a few people in the VC that are big fans of this guy. This is Ryley Walker, Primrose Green. I saw him perform at the Austin Psych Fest last year. Blew me away. I'd been listening to the album on repeat pretty heavily before that, and so I got myself a spot right up front. If you've seen my Austin Psych Fest highlight video, there's quite a bit of footage of them in there because I was right up front and was able to get some really cool stuff. They performed in the afternoon, great breeze blowing through. It was perfect, the perfect setting for this kind of music. And this is like folk psych, think like Pentangle, Bert Jansch influence kind of folk psych stuff. Really, really good. Primrose Green is a really good track. Summer Dress, and On the Banks of the Old Kishwaukee. He's from Chicago. He's like 3.5 hours away from me, and I haven't gone up there to see him play since the Austin Psych Fest, but I need to make the trek up there. This is fantastic. This is just the regular black version. There is a green vinyl version, but that goes for like $75 and up. Jerry Shimp, I know you've got a copy. I'm jealous of that, man. But everybody check this one out. This is great stuff. I showed this last year in my other Neo-Psych video, so I won't talk about this again, but I discovered in like the beginning of March that there was a pink vinyl variant. This is like pink marbled vinyl variant. The listing for it came up on Discogs, and like 15 people said that they had it. Knew nothing about it. I guess it was a tour exclusive, and then within like a week of me adding it to my want list, somebody had a copy show up for $19. So I popped on it. I love the album. That's the price of a black version new, and I've never seen a pink version come up for sale, so I think I probably got a pretty good deal on it. But great pop psych album from LaMontagne. This is one to check out as well. Oh Hi is my favorite track. And then speaking of LaMontagne, his newest album, Ouroboros. I know a lot of LaMontagne fans that like his more folky, soulful sound don't like Supernova, and they don't like Ouroboros. As a guy that loves psychedelic music, and to have my favorite current artist making more psychedelic influenced music, it's blowing my mind. I'm loving it. Seriously, this is phenomenal. This is very Pink Floyd influenced rock. I don't know really how to describe it. It's kind of a tough one because it does have LaMontagne's sort of soulful touch to it, but it does have sort of a Pink Floydish vibe. Jim James of My Morning Jacket produced the album, and My Morning Jacket minus Jim James play on the album. They do all the instrumentation with the exception of LaMontagne, who does guitars and vocals. So it's very much a My Morning Jacket feel to it as well. So if you're into that kind of stuff, this is kind of what you're in store for. And this one is on a dark red vinyl. This was a independent record store version only. I did buy a black version as well until I picked this up, but I sent that one out to somebody who I thought would appreciate it. This is sort of a concept album, I suppose. He was talking about being on the road for so long and really wanting to be home, but then once he got home, he was ready to get back on the road, and sort of that struggle. And that's what Ouroboros is. It's, you know, the mythological snake eating itself. You know, it's wrapped around a circle, and sort of living in that dichotomy of, I want to be home, but I want to be on the road doing what I like, and how do I find a balance between that? And so that's what this is influenced by. The track listing's not on the back, so let me see if I can remember off the top of my head. Hey No Pressure is really good, but In My Own Way is probably my favorite track. It's a little more mellow. And then, gosh, I'm going to have to look. And of course, it's not listed. But anyway, he did make this with the vinyl listening experience in mind. It's broken up into 2 parts. The first side is a little bit heavier, and the second side gets a little more floaty, a little more mellow. But lots of, like, David Gilmour-esque guitar solos on this. Definitely pick this up, seek this out. This is great. Love that album. My favorite of the year so far, and I'm totally biased. I'm a Ray LaMontagne fanboy, so what are you gonna do? This is not too dissimilar from like the War on Drugs, but more country influence. This is Israel Nash, and the album is called Silver Season. Israel Nash's Silver Season. I didn't know anything about this guy, but I was checking some groups out for the Austin Psych Fest this year, which I didn't go to, and luckily I didn't go to because it got canceled, but that's another story altogether. Anyway, I'm checking out a group called the Promised Land Sound. Haven't picked any of their albums up yet, but I'm going to probably. It's really good stuff. But this came up in the recommendations, and I listened to a couple of tracks and immediately went and bought it on bestbuy.com. This is so freaking good. I've been obsessed with this album. I think this is a 2014 release. No, I'm sorry, 2015. He does a really cool style of like Laurel Canyon influenced alt country psychedelic kind of stuff. He has a Neil Young sounding voice. You'll see a lot of comparisons to Neil Young, and I think it's fair. He does sound a lot like him. But I don't know. It's just so good. Let's see. And of course they don't list the tracks there either. Let's see if they're on the label. LA Lately is, let's see. Yes, LA Lately and Lavandula. Those tracks back to back are so good. LA Lately is my favorite on the album. And then Strangers is the opening track on side B. That's another one, really good track to check out as well. But if you're into kind of alt country, but you're also into psychedelic, this is a really cool fusing of those two genres together. Again, kind of a Laurel Canyon feel, great road trip music, very mellow, laid back stuff. Really good stuff. I've checked out his back catalog and need to pick up his older albums. This is his most recent. But if you're looking for new country that's good stuff, Israel Nash, check him out. Really good. Sorry for the squeaky chair. It's really annoying. This was a record store pickup. I found this at Vintage Vinyl. It was used, $10. This is Gulp, Season Sun. So we had Israel Nash's Silver Season, and this is Gulp, Season Sun. This came out, I want to say 2012 or 13. This is on white vinyl. I don't have a year, so I apologize if I'm way off on that. This is pretty good stuff. This is a little bit different. This is not alt country. These guys are a British group, and it's dream pop psych. Seasoned Sun. I'm sorry if you can see it on the back there. It's kind of a title track, I guess, is the standout. It's really good dreamy pop psych, and the rest of the album is in sort of a similar vein. It veers a little less psychedelic on most of the album. It gets a little more into the dream pop stuff, but that stuff is close enough to pop psych that it keeps my interest. And as a $10 pickup, this was great to come across. I loved the cover on it. Another good kind of summer listen, really breezy kind of laid back stuff. Really good stuff there. And sticking with sort of a summery vibe, this is Quilt, their second album, Held in Splendor. I believe in my last video I showed their self-titled. So finally got around to picking this up. I bought this on Discogs used for like $8. It can be had cheap. It's just on black vinyl. I think there is a clear version, but for $8 I wasn't going to pass up that. Really great folk, pop, psych, a little bit dreamy-esque in spots, but a little more on the folk side of things. Really good stuff. If you checked out their first album last year, this is what we're seeking out as well. Held in Splendor, it got a lot of critical buzz when it came out in 2014. I had to cheat and look on the back there. I couldn't remember, but really cool album cover too. I like that a lot. Good kind of laid-back listening. This one, oh man, this is so good. The cover, doesn't this look like a reissue, like a Light in the Attic reissue of some weird obscure psych album from the late 60s or early 70s? This is new. This came out, I think, in December. I'm trying to remember now, December or January, but anyway, so it's fairly recent. This is Constantine Day of Light, another Chicago guy that I need to get up and check out live, because this album is amazing. I don't remember if I showed the gatefold yet. I think I already did, but there you go. You get to see it twice. This sounds like a private pressed folk psych masterpiece, but it's not. It's recent music. Again, like I said, December or January it was released. Limited run of 300 copies. He was kind enough when I ordered it off of Bandcamp that he sent me a single of it, or a single as well. It's not album cuts. It's its own 2 tracks, which is very cool. It was super generous of him. I really appreciate it. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of the group that he recorded this with. It's a really rare psych album from that era, the 60s and 70s. Owl of Wondrous Legends, that's it. He teamed up with these guys. One of the guys in the group did the artwork, I believe. I may be totally wrong on this, but I think I'm right. Did the artwork on this, and they did some instrumentation as well. I don't know how to describe this other than crazy, awesome, good folk psych. Seriously great folk psych. Day of Light is probably the standout track. Egyptian Days is another really good one. And Into the Land That Time Forgot, the opening track, has some great, like, reverby vocals, really good harmonies on here. Oh my gosh, phenomenal. I think there's a couple tracks on YouTube, and all of it is on Bandcamp. Well worth checking out. They're reissuing this album. Like I said, the initial run was 300, but I think they've got another run coming out soon that's either 500 or 1,000 copies with a little bit different packaging, I think. Hop on it, because this is so good. In a few years, this is going to be highly sought after. I'm positive of that. It's that good. It's amazing. Well, we're checking that one out. All right. I showed in my last video, my Neo-Psych video, not my last video, last year's Neo-Psych stuff, GOASTT, the Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger, Sean Lennon's band, the son of John, of course, and Charlotte Kemp Mull, or Charlotte Mull Kemp, I can't remember, Kemp Mull, there you go. Their album, Midnight Sun, and I said in that video that it was kind of love and hate, and that's kind of what I got in the comments as well. Some people really liked it, some people it kind of rubbed the wrong way, it just wasn't their taste. This one may be the one to kind of check out. It's not as like self-indulgent as Midnight Sun. It's a little more subdued, I guess. This is Carotte Bleue. I believe this was a Record Store Day issue. I think it's technically an EP. There's 8 tracks on it. It's on like a marbled blue vinyl. I don't know if how well that's going to show up there. I came across this at Vintage Vinyl for like 15 bucks. It was opened, used, but I don't think it had ever been played. It's pretty good stuff. I don't like this as much as Midnight Sun. I like that more self-indulgent, full-on psychedelic stuff. This is, like I said, a little more laid back. Not really folky, but just more mellow pop psych kind of stuff. But also worth checking out as well. Robot Boys are a good one on here, and Rainbow Gasoline. Let's see, and then the title track, Carotte Bleue. Those are the 3 tracks that I like the most. Again, like I said, don't love the album, but like the group well enough that I was willing to pick this up when I came across it. Cool find. All right, another guy from last year's Neo-Psych video making another appearance. This is Jacco Gardner, Hypnophobia. Jacco Gardner from the Netherlands, I believe. I believe he's from that region. I know Peter Bootsman, who makes some great videos as well, and I've gotten to know him a little bit on Facebook. I think he's from that area. So I may be wrong on that, but you can look it up, Google it. I don't know. This is good. I don't know if I like this as much as Cabinet of Curiosities, his previous album, but it's in a similar vein. Great pop psych, just phenomenal stuff. Gray Lanes and Before the Dawn are my 2 favorite tracks. I like the title track a lot too. I'd say, boy, I don't know. I'm trying to remember Cabinet of Curiosities. It's been a while since I've listened to that one. I just know that I loved that album, and I don't know if I love this one, but I like it a lot. I think it's solid. I think it's some of the best pop psych that's come out in recent years. And anything that he does, I'm going to support. I missed out on the early run of the pre-orders, so I do just have a regular black vinyl version, but this is one that you can pick up 15 bucks and under. It's a cheapie to pick up. Find probably a used copy for 10 bucks, I would imagine. Well worth doing. Seek this guy's stuff out. All right. Speaking of cheap pickups, This was a steal of a deal. This is Wildest Dreams, self-titled album, doing a Captain Copter and his Fabulous Twirly Birds homage, Randy California's group from like 71 or 72. That album cover, doing a complete rip-off / homage to that, which I appreciate a lot. I got this on Discogs for $8 shipped. Alright, $8 shipped. And it comes with the CD. I don't know if I've got it here. I think I might have it in my car. Yeah, it's not in the album, it's in my car. But just regular black vinyl. Tight inner to show you just regular black vinyl. This is really, really great. Kind of blues-inspired psych rock. There's a couple tracks that just are full-on psych, but there's a couple tracks that have kind of a funky vibe to them as well. Gypsy Eyes, and I think it's She Loves Me Not, or kind of funk-inspired blues rock tracks. But the rest of this stuff is kind of, like I said, kind of bluesy psych. Roller Skates, the opening track, and Scorpion Bay, the closing track, are kind of just full-on psych stuff. Really, really great. This is underappreciated. This came out in 2014. I don't even remember how I found out about this. Probably just a YouTube recommendation or something, but great album. And again, there's tons of copies on Discogs for under $10 that come with a CD. You can't beat that deal for new albums, and this is great. Really like this one. Just got a few left. We're gonna kind of blaze through these. This is Tame Impala Currents, their latest album. Came out last year, late sometime. I don't remember. 2015 sometime. I said late, but I think it was like spring or summer. Anyway, I saw these guys at Austin Psych Fest last year as well. It was awesome. I'm a huge Tame Impala fan. Love what they're doing right now. Great psychedelic music coming out of Australia. I've got a whole video that I'm going to dedicate just to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I've got their entire catalog. That's not true. I'm missing 2 albums that are just impossible to find. But I'm going to do a video of their stuff on its own. But Tame Impala, love these guys. This is the first run, limited, on sort of a pink purplish vinyl, and the other one is in sort of a yellow, translucent gold kind of a thing. Picked this up on early pre-order for like 20 or 25 bucks, and this is selling for like 75 now. It's insane. I don't understand it. My least favorite Tame Impala album so far. It's their 3rd one. I don't like it as much as their first 2, but it's still really good. There's some great stuff on it. Let It Happen and Eventually, and is it I'm a Man? No. Hold on, I'm sorry. Because I'm a Man is a pretty decent track too, but here we go. Let It Happen and Eventually are the best tracks on the album. They're the standouts, but Yes, I'm Changing is my favorite track. It's the one I kind of go back to and listen on iTunes a lot. I've got it digitized and put on my phone. I play that one all the time in my car. This is, it's still really good psych music, but it's a little more pop influenced. I've seen some people compare it to like EDM or something. I don't think it's quite that kind of style of music, but it's, oh gosh, kind of like Coldplay-esque, poppy kind of stuff, but with its toes firmly in psych still. So it's more psych than pop. I'm rambling. I don't know. I'm terrible at describing stuff, but this is still worth seeking out. I think there's enough good tracks on here to cover up some of the worse, the lower kind of stuff. The less I know, the better. I don't care for that track at all. It's one I skip digitally, but I'm happy to have this. Really cool to have the colored vinyl as well. So kind of a cool pickup there. And another segue. Speaking of colored vinyl, this is the coolest colored vinyl that I own, and I may have shown this last year. I think I did, but if I didn't, you're gonna see it again. Worthless, All My Friends Are Stone. Wonderful, wonderful psych album. And on this crazy splattered pink and blue, it's a little bit different on the other side as well. It's translucent. If you hold it up to the light, it kind of comes through in different colors as well. This is deep, weird, trippy psych. And this album, limited to I think 500 copies, but you can still pick up a copy online for like 30 and under. It's not that expensive to seek out. Well worth it. Pizza Break, D minor, Gold, Yellow Fingers. There's only 5 tracks. They're longer jams, but they're all great. This is so good. And now that I'm showing it, I really do think I talked about this in last year's video, but I don't care. It's good enough to show twice. This is fantastic. Really great stuff. Alright, then we have Wand, Gangling, and Reef. Another one that I may have shown last year, and I can't remember now. I should have checked, but oh well, it doesn't matter. This was on Ty Segall's label, God, ? Just on regular black vinyl. And if you're familiar with Fuzz, Ty Segall's band Fuzz, this is kind of like that, but this is more psychedelic, less heavy metal, rock kind of stuff. Fuzz has kind of like a Black Sabbath sound. This is definitely more psychedelic in nature, but with a hard rock bent to it as well. Phenomenal. If I can remember tracks, I really should have done some research before I did this. Broken Candle, Flying Golem, and 6661. Really, really good stuff. This is, again, if you're into like heavier stuff, heavier psych, heavier rock, these guys are worth checking out. Their later 2 albums, not as psychedelic, more heavy rock. Not my style of stuff. I like the more psychedelic. But if you're into the heavier rock, these guys should be right up your alley. And I mentioned Fuzz. And I don't think I showed this last year, but I may have. And if I have, I apologize. It is what it is. But this is Ty Segall's group Fuzz. They're a heavy metal, I'm saying heavy metal. That's not accurate. I'm gonna get lambasted in the comments for calling something heavy metal that's not metal. Hard rock, like Sabbath-esque hard rock, but it's hard. It's heavy stuff. Again, saw these guys at Austin Psych Fest. They closed the festival last year. What a way to go out, man! It was heavy. They are a heavy group. So if Sabbath is your kind of deal, if you're into that kind of stuff, this is up your alley as well. I've got 2 more Ty Segall albums to show. This one came out, I think, Record Store Day Black Friday in 2015. This is Tyrex, an album of T-Rex covers done in that Ty Segall sort of lo-fi garage psych sort of a way. Buick McCain is really good, and 20th Century Boy. The Slider is pretty good as well. Overall, I don't love this album. I love T-Rex and I love Ty Segall, so the fusing of those two together, I'm kind of geeked out over when it came out. It's not the best album, not the best recordings, but again, that's kind of what you get with Ty Segall. He's sort of into that lo-fi recording sound, but this is like real lo-fi. But still enjoyable if you're a Ty Segall fan like me. Pick it up. This is just the regular black version, but there is a Coke bottle green variant that I just haven't tracked down, and I think it's pretty pricey now, but really good stuff. And then we have Ty Segall's newest album that came out in January of this year. This is Emotional Mugger. It opens on top, so you pull the album out on top, black vinyl there. This is really good. I do like this a lot. It's kind of a heavier psych sound, kind of fusing that garagey, punky, psychedelic stuff with the Manipulator kind of production effects and things like that. Less poppy than Manipulator, less T-Rex inspired than Manipulator. Again, more of that kind of heavier garage influence kind of sound, but it's not as lo-fi. Like that Tyrex album, really, really lo-fi. This is much better production. It's kind of on par with their Fuzz album. If you get a chance, Google Ty Segall on WGN playing a track from this album. It's amazing. If you've seen any footage of their recent concerts, he wears a weird baby mask like what's on the cover, and him doing that on WGN's like noon news hour is awesome. The faces of the anchors is priceless. So definitely check those videos out. And how many times have I said definitely check it out in this video? Holy crap. But anyway, there you go. Ty Segall's newest album. Let's see if I can grab a couple of tracks for you to check out. California Hills, The Squealer, and Candy Sam. Love those tracks. Standouts for sure. Well worth seeking out. So there you go. That's it. Another long, rambling Neo-Psych video. We didn't have to split it into 2 parts. We got it all done. It's a longer video, so I apologize. But if you stuck with me, thank you so much. If you endured my rambling, you're a champion. Thank you, guys. We'll see you later. Take it easy.